go back and I think about when I first met you back in 2022, and it was the first time I had heard about doing security right means that you're at runtime. And I think about your founding story all the time. And part of the reason I was so drawn to Upwind and you and the company, outside of the fact that, of course, Steph Curry and Omri Caspi are involved and we had basketball in common, I just love also that your entire team from your past startup were so convicted with you that you all started this all over again. I mean, you guys are crazy, but tell me everything about your founding story.
So I think what I love about us building in this space of cybersecurity, cloud security, is we actually don't come from that space. We actually coming from adjacent world where is the engineering side of the house, it's the platform engineering, it's the DevOps, which are the most critical functions for security people to thrive. And then if you go back, so 11 years ago, I was a student for computer science. I had this project about cloud optimization. It was a Cinderella story because the dean saw something in the project that I didn't see, and he pushed me into like starting a company. Starting the company was not the easiest thing to do. Well, I said, well, how hard can it be? But it was really hard. And starting like the company and like trying to convince VCs that the idea is good was not a success. People thought the idea was actually bad. And how can you start a business in a place where you're cutting revenue from the vendors? But I think I focused on just building the conviction with the customers, and then bringing the team, rallying the team around the mission of like, let's bring the value to the customer and go from there. Before we knew it, the company's growing and we have investors, and then, we're being acquired. And in 2020, got acquired by NetApp. And then that's really like, I feel like everything happened in the last 11 years prepared me for this moment, like sitting here with you doing this, which is, we built a company, we know how hard it is to build, we know what it means to like run a very tight engineering ship and product ship and go to market. But more importantly, once we got acquired, we see like how security works at like a large enterprise. We got acquired and the security team is reviewing our security, and as a startup, we had no CISO and no security team. We had to negotiate our way out of like all the findings they saw on all of our environment. And we saw how much context security teams are missing that we see from our perspective as engineers, as DevOps. We said, there's got to be a better way to do that. And then I know that when we started, we brought up this controversial concept of agentless is not enough. We said, well, agentless is not enough, but you don't want to have agents and sensors everywhere. So like, where is the sweet spot? So I think building is also meaning knowing that you're going to be misunderstood for a certain amount of time. And when we started, it wasn't as straightforward to come into a room and say, this is what we're going to do. There was like amazing customers like you and Roku and Abnormal Security and like all of our first customers who it was very, very clear for them what we're building. And now I think that from challenging the approach and concept in cloud security, it's becoming the de facto. So I'm so excited that Upwind can actually be the bridge of how security should look like more in 2030 rather than what security was in 2020. So we're literally on that. I think everything in the founding story just put us in the right spot to be where we are to do this.
You talk about how it was so hard doing a startup the first time, and yet you're doing it again. And of course you have this passion around building and security, but why are you doing it again? You're insane.
Well, there's two types of fun. There is one fun is like when you do it, and then there is fun like in a retrospective. You look back and it was so much fun. So I honestly think that the biggest joy in life is to build. Like waking up in the morning, building, working with incredible people. We have hundreds of people in the company who are incredible, committed to a mission. There is nothing more fulfilling than this. I'm really excited to be where we are today, where I am today, building in building mode. I love my job. I love our day to day. Obviously, it's not easy. But I got to tell you, when my first startup was acquired, I felt like I lost something in my energy, like that I can I can do more, I can push more, I can build more. When I started Upwind, I just gained it back. And now it's funny, people don't often talk about it, but as the company grows, your job as CEO, and you feel it also on your job too, doesn't become easier. It actually becomes harder and harder. Every quarter is becoming harder. You have bigger goals. You need to like solve bigger problems. But I think the difference is now you know what you're dealing with. You have the realization that not everything should look like it's going to be a straight win. It's going to be 80% of the time it's actually going to look very, very hard. And I think that's the beauty of this, is operating in this foggy environment where nothing is clear, but you're building, innovating, bringing value, building the team. It's just, this is what we're here for. And Rinki, really, I feel like our mission is to solve the toughest and most complex problems in cloud security. In a world where the speed of cloud is so fast, it's like speed of light. The number of new problems being presented in the cloud every month, every quarter is just unprecedented. That's the place I want to be.